November 18th, and this is how our shop is looking. Now, thank God I have a few inspections to do, so I'm going to stay busy today. I have like 14 government vehicles I have to do. But you can't tell me this isn't a government recession. Like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, as you can see, we're so busy. There's so many cars in here right now. 9:30 in the morning. We should be packed. We should at least have oil changes. We should have something. And before the people start commenting that, well, shop charge too much money. Our shop doesn't. We actually charge a lot less than we should to make good margins and actually make money. So we actually undercharge a whole lot at the shop, and we still don't have business. We are probably the cheapest shop in our area compared to all the other shops. Our labor is only $135. Other shops are like $150, $160, $180. Dealerships are like $200, and we do decent work. We do good work on cars. We never have complaints. We never have people come back. We never have returns. This is how our shop looks. This has got to be the beginning of the middle of a recession and probably the beginning of a depression. I've been here 6 months. I have not seen it this bad. And it's been like this for the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks. So what's gives? What's going on? Is it just me or are we in a global recession?
I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Their labor day and night, making sure we get this 100% truth that's guiding us through this storm. We give all praises and shalom to the 144,000 hopeful elect and all the Akim and Aqua. Shalom. Alright, we're going to get right into it. You already know how it is. We're going to make this a short lesson. I wanted to try to do 2 lessons tonight, but stuff happens. But hopefully this lesson is edifying. Basically, it's going to be no work in Egypt. No work in Egypt. And for those that don't know, there's going to be no work in America and no work in the whole world. Well, some people still going to be working. But it's going to be very slim to none. Very slim to none. The reason why we say Egypt is because America is a house of bondage. Just like the original Egypt. If you would turn with me, if you will, to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. This is Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail branch or rush may do. So it's going to be no work for Egypt. It's going to be no work. Now, if you know about Egypt, that was way before Isaiah, the prophet. So you know this is not talking, Salakia, about the same Egypt. This is talking about America, Babylon the Great. And verse 16, in that day shall Egypt be like to, Salakia, Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, which he shaketh over it. So it ain't gonna be no work for Egypt. It's gonna be no work. There's gonna be nothing y'all could do in America that you think you're gonna make make America great again, and you're gonna try to make some money. It ain't gonna be no work because America is falling. And see, people say, "Oh, that's not going." That people always say that's not going to happen in my lifetime. That's what they always say. Well, listen up, you new jacks. It's going to happen in your lifetime. This is Matthew chapter 12. We're going to start in verse 22. And we're going to stop at 28. But if we need more, need less, we're going to go with that. But this is Matthew chapter 12. And we're going to start in verse 22. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed them. And so much that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doeth not chase out the devil, but Beelzebul, the prince of the devil. And Jesus, Yahushua, knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Alright? Okay? But as you see in the beginning of the verse, it was talking about a man who was possessed. Alright? Who was dumb, who was blind. And he healed him. The reason why I went up to that point is because a lot of people think America's going to be healed. America is not going to be healed. America's going to stay dumb and they're going to stay blind. And they're not going to be healed. But that's the only reason why I brought that up. Well, that's not a good verse. No, it's a good verse. Because it shows that America could be healed if it would turn away from its sins. But as we know, they never did that. They never turned away from their sins. So they will remain dumb and blind. All right? 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. Now shall the kingdom stand. This kingdom, no, we're gonna stop right there. Alright? The kingdom ain't gonna stand. This kingdom of America is not gonna stand because it is divided against itself. Alright? But as you know, as reading this type of way, I mean, it's different from how it's normally read. You know, because this talks about Yahushua healing. And they basically accused him of basically getting his powers from the devil, which is Satan. But he couldn't get those powers from them because, as it says, if he did get those powers from the devil, how can Satan cast out Satan when he's doing a good work? But the reason why I'm bringing it out like this is the representing of America. It's divided against itself. It's blind and dumb. And it's not going to be healed. A lot of people, if you hear most Americans, they always say, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. So when you think about the example of Yahushua healing the man, yeah, America probably could have been healed. But this is prophecy. It will not be healed. Because its sins has reached up to the heavens. As in other videos you heard me recently bring out. Alright. We're going to turn to Genesis 47. Alright. Alright, this is Genesis 47, We're going to start in verse 13. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt, now this is actually talking about the actual Egypt, the first time it was mentioned, Egypt, and all the land of Canaan faint by reason of the famine. We're going to stop right there. Let me put my finger right there. So, if there's a famine coming, just like I did in the video before, there was a famine coming. Anytime there's a famine, if there's no crops to be stored up, then there's no work. There's no jobs. There's no money. See what I'm saying? A lot of people think this is going to keep going on forever. You're going to keep going down to the store, keep getting something to eat. No. But let's read further on, and you're going to see how this famine affected the money. All right? Verse 14. And Joseph gathered up all the money. See? There goes all that money that y'all talking about. There goes that no job sign right there. That was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. Verse 15. And when money failed at the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came into Joseph and said, "Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth." See that? Verse 16, and Joseph said, "Give your cattle, and I will give you your cattle if money faileth." All right? Hold on, let me stop right there. See, it's going to get to a point that the U.S. dollar ain't going to be worth anything. It's not going to be, people going to be like, you know what, forget that U.S. dollar. What can you do for me? What can you give me that I can get now? You see? You're going to have people doing a lot of things during that time. As they always show in the movies in the movie theaters, they're going to be giving up their wedding rings and wedding bracelets and all this stuff. You know, oh, that was my wedding ring. Yeah, well, that wedding ring going to come off that finger no matter what, especially if you're dead. Yeah, you can give it up and get something, or you could die and they can still take it. That's how it's going to go down. Verse 17. And they brought their cattle into Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for that $1 million, that $1,000. Nah. It says for the horses. And if anybody knows anything about horses, horses are not cheap to buy, and horses are not cheap to maintain. Idris Elba played in the movie, if you know who he is. Idris Elba played in the movie. It was black people that lived in, you know, there was in the slums or the ghetto, how you want to call it. Not trying to be offensive to certain people of different walks of life. But they had horses. Just like, you know, in Baltimore, it's some people, some black guys that still ride horses. You know, it's a good movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but it's a good movie. And one of the guys, he wanted to buy a horse and stuff like that. They would save money, but he got smoked. But anyway, what it's showing right here is that for them to get bread, that they actually had to sell one of their horses. Hold on, let me bring it up. Yeah, this is exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, that is donkeys, all right? And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. So imagine man, can you imagine that? You giving up horses, cattle, donkeys, stuff that really costs more, has more value than what that bread is. But imagine you're selling something that costs so much that normally, if you was to sell it, you would get 50 times more than that. Because a horse ain't cheap. Just one horse. If you have like 5 horses, especially in today's money, whoop, yo, you're going to be eating real good. But hey, they had to do what they had to do. And that's how it's going to be when that famine hit. People think they're going to be able to just pull out their credit card, pull out their money, and then they're going to get the same thing. That's not going to work. It's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. It's going to be no work for Egypt. All right? Where am I at? This got to be edifying. If this ain't edifying for you, I just don't know what to say. For all their cattle for that year. Verse 18, and this is Genesis 47, verse 18. Well, I'm about to end it. When that year was ended, they came into him the second year. Can you imagine? You already went through 365 days out of a year going through that nonsense of having no food. And now you're going into the second year? And said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also haveth our herds of cattle. There is not enough left in the sight of my Lord. Our bodies and our lands. So it got to a point they ain't have really anything. And that's how it's going to be in that day. When that famine hits. When there's no work for Egypt. It's going to be hard out here. And you got to understand. You need money to buy food. And then you need food to be bought. So you got both things going on at both times. See, at that time when they went to Joseph was the one, they had the food because as you already know the story previously, if you up on game, you know, Joseph, he knew about the dream. He knew about the cattle and the grain. So that's why they store it up. And a lot of people don't even want to store up nothing. They don't want to store up no money. They don't want to store up no canned foods. They don't want to store up no gas. You got to store up all that stuff. Even now. I'm talking about now. I'm not saying you gotta have, daggone 50 gas cartons and all this canned food, but you need to have something. Because it's gonna get bad. And we all also supposed to be, donating each week. If you have it, or every 2 weeks to your camp leader. You know what I'm saying? And your camp elder is going to put that money aside. So when times get bad, that money is there. So that's what that elder not supposed to do. That's what that elder's going to do. That's why he's put in that position. So you gotta give your elder leader something. Every 2 weeks or something every month. So money is put there because there might be multiple brothers that need help. Not just one. You got to understand, we being put to the test. So put some money away now. Give it to your elder leader so he can put that money in a safe place. So when that time comes, we can all eat. Cause we at that time, man. We at that time. Yeah, it's gonna be no work in Egypt, and the unemployment rate is already high. So I want to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that labor day and night. Make sure that we get this word, this 100% truth, that watch over the flock. Shalom to the 144,000 hopeful elect, the Akim Aqua, all fellow believers and supporters. Shalom.